So there's a trend going on recently between some of the best footballers in the world. Everything's shifting nowadays, and it's going from their modern lifestyle back to the ancestral lifestyle. We want to talk about nature today. If you look at one of the best strikers in the world, Erling Haaland, he's doing the grounding, he's doing the blue light blockers, he's doing the stuff that we promote, and there's a reason for that. It's going to help with your recovery, it's going to help with everything like that, because if you're doing your training but you can't recover from it, you're actually getting worse, you're not getting better.
Yeah, training is just 1-2 hours a day. What are you doing in these other 22, 23 hours? That's what actually matters as well, much more than you probably think. And we're here to have a honest conversation about this topic, right? Make you aware of this as well, that that's something you might have been just leaving on the table, even though it is there, most of it for free, right? You could just go out there and start grounding. Let's talk about grounding a little bit. I think that's one of the main things, right, that you could start doing, and people are not at all doing anymore today, right? Because we have the shoes on almost everywhere we go.
Yeah, I would talk about actually just being outside first. So we can use that after, but I was going to go into how our modern lives are destroying us.
Cool. Yeah.
What did you say?
Because then we can go. I don't know actually. I said we're gonna have an honest conversation about why you might be leaving gains on the table.
So I'll just go. So we know that our modern lives are actually destroying us. If we look,
yeah, but I'm not sure. Like modern, like I said, gains on the table, and today we want to show you. Oh, even though we have this, most of it for free. Cool, and then you can go. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So our modern lifestyles are actually designed to destroy. So our modern lifestyles are actually, what it seems like, designed to destroy our health. We spend so much time inside, which we have never done in previous generations. If you look at most people's lifestyles, they go to work for 8 hours and then they sit and watch TV when they get home. So they're inside for the majority of the day. They're not getting out and about. They're not getting the sunlight in. They're not touching feet to grass. They're not doing all the stuff that we were raised to do and we've been doing for generations and generations and generations.
And been thriving as human beings. So we got to ask ourselves that question, okay, what have we deviated from, right? As we look at the body and look at, okay, what has the mainstream strength training, getting explosive deviated us from, right? We're going to look at the same thing with our lifestyle as well.
Yeah. And you know the answer to this question. Let me ask you this. Is the amount of time you spend on screens and the amount of time you're spending inside benefiting your recovery? Is it making you healthier? Is it giving you the performance you want? I would say that you probably have a feeling right now inside you that says no. Because we have some connection with the earth, with the universe, with something that actually tells us what's right and wrong.
Yeah, and you can literally feel this, right? If you go, there is studies showing that people that go into the forest, right? I don't know the exact details of the study, but people go into the forest and it is a different feeling, right? It's like just that, having these trees around you, having that nature around you, and we haven't even gotten into like the details of if you actually go into nature, you know, taking your shoes off. Right, if you go into nature in the morning, evening, getting the sunlight, but just generally going outside, breathing that fresh air, having not these four walls around you, that is already huge.
Yeah, it does something to it does something to your psyche. Sitting in a room with four walls around you, we're not designed to be in cages. So I'm sitting here, I'm in the sunlight, we're around nature, we're around grass, we're around the ocean. I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but if I was cooped up inside doing this, I'd feel a lot lower in vibration. And my energy coming across to the camera would probably be a lot lower in vibration as well. You see that the people that spend all their hours inside gaming, looking at screens, not going outside too much, they don't look healthy.
Yeah, and it's a tough conversation to have, like, because we know how easy it is to stay inside, right? Yeah. I've done it. Like, we're not blaming anyone here. Like, it's easy. It was made easy for us to stay inside and think it's good, or like be comfortable when and almost be like, okay, going outside is now, you know, a burden. It's tough. Like, it's not easy. And yeah, people that live in the city, it's not as easy to, you know, go outside and maybe touch some grass or whatever, see some sunlight. But it is so worth it. right? Especially if you right now struggling with injuries, or like your body is not actually performing like you want it to perform, then this is something that you're going to sacrifice some time for, but in return it's going to give you the health, and health is more important than anything, really.
100%. So 2 main principles when it does.
And you're probably not even sacrificing time, because you're spending that time anyways doing something else.
Yeah, just wait for the boat to pass. Alright, go on.
Yeah. I should go. And actually, I was thinking about it, like you're probably not even spending extra time, going into the nature. You can take that away from something that hasn't been giving you these benefits, right? Whether that's a screen time, whether that's you watching TV, anything else, that you can take this time off and replace it with something that's actually going to benefit you.
Yeah, and there's 2 things when it comes to our system that we really, really urge people to do. One is the grounding side of stuff. We have a mate that had chronic foot pain for years and years and years, and the first thing that actually gave him relief was touching grass with his feet.
That's crazy as it sounds, right? That's really it. And again, it's not only, it doesn't just make sense, right? We're using the common sense, but also we looked at studies. Okay, it is going to reduce the inflammation, quite simply, right? You're getting that vibration from the earth that our body is meant to be at, and it's reducing your inflammation, right? You feel grounded. That's what we want here, and it doesn't take a lot, right? Our mate was doing 10-15 minutes a day for a week.
Reading a book in the garden, putting his foot in the grass.
Exactly. You can even do something else, right, while doing it. And it's just amazing if you think about it. It's so simple.
And we know how strong the power of our mind really, really is. And it just tells us something of when we are connected with the ground and the grass is going in between our toes and we're outside and we're rolling. It's telling our brain that we're safe, that we're where we're meant to be, and that's going to help if you are dealing with any kind of pain, if you're dealing with performance suffering or anything like that. This gets some feet on the ground.
Yeah, you see people that are in nature a lot, right? They're thriving, right? If we're in Vanuatu, right? This environment is not something we have all the time, but if we look at the people that are here all the time, right? They're thriving. They're freak athletes. They have healthy bodies. They're happy as well, and we want to encourage you to at least get into that direction, right? We're not saying, okay, you need to come out here to Vanuatu, right? We tell you, cool, if you have a patch of grass somewhere around your house, that's going to be it, right? Go and ground there. Do something.
I wouldn't say they're thriving.
Huh?
I wouldn't say they're thriving.
What?
People of Vanuatu.
You wouldn't say?
No way on
in
earth
health
would I say they're thriving.
You wouldn't say they're thriving?
They die at 50 years old.
Wow. Why is that? Because they're working so much.
Tom, well, again, this could be different reasons. Tom has theories that it could be maybe because they cook in aluminium pans, maybe because most of them don't actually have access to the meat, the dairy, that kind of stuff, that they're just eating fruits and vegetables. Most people aren't doing what this guy is doing, where he's just spearing fish into the thing. So then if you don't have all of that, then you're growing up eating papayas, and there's a lot of vegetarians just because they have to be. If you look, if you go to football, you'll see 15 people, 5 of them are jacked, super healthy, rolling, and then the rest of them are skinny, some are alright, whatever.
Interesting.
But the ones that are jacked, whatever, they have access, they're farmers, or they have they have a job over in Santo, or they're doing this, or they're doing that, so they have the ability to afford the right food.
Yeah.
But again, it's...
Yeah, now that makes sense. Nah, it's obviously mainly probably the nutrition for them, right? Yeah, the nature is there, nature is not going away, but if the nutrition isn't right, then you can have all the nature. That's
you're not
true.
eating any protein,
that's true. So then I would rather go into, I don't know exactly where I was, but I could go into, and yeah, this sounds amazing. We're not saying this is a be all end all, obviously, if the nutrition is not nailed down, but we're using this as a tool, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't saying it to contradict the point that you made, because it's still a good point.
Yeah.
But I was just going to tell you people aren't thriving.
Yeah. Now I was just looking at the Rex freaking 50 years old throwing spears. It's not everyone 100%. Yeah. Yeah. So where can I catch this?
I would say it's pretty good. And then the second thing they have access to here is sunlight.
So you would leave that or what?
Yeah.
Okay. Or we could also say the ones, and this doesn't go for all the people here. It goes for the people that are using nature's gifts and have the thing.
I mean, we can say that at the end. Let's go through the principle of the sunlight, and then at the end we can say you can't out sunlight a bad diet. We're not plants. We don't photosynthesize. Yeah, you can get nutrients. You can get good stuff from the sun, and it's definitely needed. But that doesn't avoid you having to eat the good meats.
Yeah.
Having to avoid the processed foods. Like, we need to be incorporating the training, the nutrition, and this stuff.
Cool. Yeah, we can say that then.
Yeah.
Cool. Then you want to go into sunlight.
And the second thing they have an abundance of here is really sunlight. Me from England, sometimes in the winter there's not too much, but even on a cloudy day, it's shown that when you get outside in the morning, it sets your circadian rhythm. So the sleep that you're going to have at night is going to be 10 times better. If you're just out there looking at a cloudy day, because the sun's there somewhere, it's just behind the clouds, right? And the sun's pretty powerful, so we're going to be able to get that. But there's so many benefits of at least getting in the sunrise and the sunset. If you don't have a bunch of time, okay. But if you're not spending 15-20 minutes in the sun every single day, you're missing out on vitamin D3. If you're not seeing the sunrise for 5-10 minutes, if you're not seeing the sunset for 5-10 minutes, you're missing out on the certain light that the sun produces that's going to help your sleep cycle, that's going to produce melatonin, that's going to make you feel so much better.
Yeah, and again, this is like, these are the two main tools that we're using because they're the simplest ones, right? You go outside, touch some grass, barefoot, go outside, watch the sunset, the sunrise. In terms of time invested, in terms of effort as well, that's probably the two simplest things you can do. And again, we're not saying that this is the be-all end-all, but it is another tool in our toolbox that we're using in these other areas, within these 22 hours that you have available outside of training.
Cool.
And then
done.
You want to say what you said before?
What?
I said this is not the be-all end-all, but yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can't out sunlight a bad diet, right? Like, you can go in the sunlight and you'll get some nutrients, some like this, but we're not plants. We don't photosynthesize, right? So we need the nutrition to be on point, and also you're not just going to get jacked from looking at the sun. You also need your training to be on point. It's a culmination of everything that we include in the Bulletproof Health Protocol. That's going to get you the results. But if you start adding in these micro things, it's going to be a good thing. They compound and things get better and better.
Yep.
I would take the guy that's getting out and getting the sunlight in and doing all that versus the guy that's not every single day of the week.
Yep.
It's going to be better for your rehab, for your recovery, for your performance, all of that stuff that you are looking to get out of this.
Yeah, and it's really a cycle of everything, right? We know that if one piece of the puzzle is missing, it could be, seemingly a small piece of the puzzle, but it has adverse effects on other areas, right? If, for example, your ankles are weak, it could also impact your knees, your hips. Yeah. If you're not getting in the sunlight, the grounding, you could have bad sleep, and from bad sleep your mental health goes down, and from your mental health not being well, you don't start eating junk food or whatever. So it's really a cycle that we're trying to build here. It's a lifestyle, right? And once you live in that lifestyle, it's easier, much easier to maintain as well, right? So it's going to be one step at a time, and thinking of this as something that you're doing for yourself. You're investing this in yourself. As all the people that come into our program, it's all investments in themselves, right? They know, cool, they're getting this life-changing transformation, so they're investing into themselves, and that's what we want to encourage you to do, whether that's with your time, with your effort, with your money. No matter what, if you invest into yourself, you're always gonna reap what you sow.
That's what Jesus says. It's a quote out of the Bible.
You want to say that, or what? You can say.
Sure. Exactly. And the best teacher of all time, Jesus Christ, says that in my Bible. So let's make Ballers Bulletproof again. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's get it.
See you next time. Peace. Nice.